All right, this is the third video that goes along with the 2.2 PowerPoint presentation on perspective sketching. And in this sketch here, we're going to demonstrate how to do a two-point perspective sketch. This sketch is similar to the single-point perspective in some ways in that we use vanishing points. But one big difference in here is that we don't have a flat face anymore that we use vertical and horizontal lines for. Now the only parallel lines we're going to have are the vertical lines. So we're going to create this shape that's shown over here in the PowerPoint presentation. So first thing we need to do is again establish our horizontal line as our horizon line, and we're going to identify not one but two vanishing point lines. So I'll refer to this as vanishing point 1 and this is vanishing point 2. So let's go ahead and put that on our sketch in here. And once again, you don't really have to draw that line as long as you've got it already provided for you. So I'm going to keep it nice and wide. The wider you do these, the better that this is going to end up looking. All right, so I got my two vanishing points. This is one, and I'll go ahead and label them on my paper. You don't have to do that, but I'll do it just for reference and so you can understand maybe better what I'm talking about. As I mentioned, the only lines that are parallel are verticals, and that's where we're going to start, is the vertical line that represents this our closest part of the object to us, and that's this part right here. And we're going to have that vertical line go straight up, and it has nothing to do with this block over here. Don't worry about that. We're just creating that glass box concept again. So we want to make sure that that front edge goes high enough to represent the whole area that we're concerned with. So we're going to start, let's say, right here in the middle. Give me plenty of room to work, and I'm just going to draw up a construction line in here. And let's do what they did here. And they did one that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 up on theirs. And it's about what I did too, so there you go. Now we're going to pick a spot that's big enough, loop 2 points on this construction line that represent the top and bottom corners of this glass box that we have here. So that's an imaginary box that encloses this shape. So these 2 points here and here are going to be these 2 points here and here. So follow those bouncing ball, and let's go ahead and put those 2 points in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Point here and here. I'm making these overly dark. Remember, this is a construction line, so don't make it too dark. Now, I mentioned before, the only things that are parallel are these horizontals. Everything else, this depth line is going to go to vanishing point 1 here, and these lines here for the width are going to go to vanishing point 2. So I'm going to start by drawing construction lines to the two vanishing points from those 2 points that I identified. So it just looks like this. Again, these should be construction lines, so they should be a lot lighter than I'm drawing right now. And there you go. So now I'm going to figure out how deep this thing goes, and it goes 2 deep here, and it's about 3 deep this way. So my depth going this way is going to be 2/3 of what my depth going this would be. So I'm going to eyeball a spot to pick for this point here and here. All right. I'm going to pick this spot right here. And here. And again, just so that this one looks like it's about 2/3 of the length of this one. And those just connect the two construction lines that I put in place. So the next thing I want to do is take and draw the back half of this, or back corner, To do that, I'm going to use a line to vanishing point 2 and a line from here to vanishing point 1. And you can see where those two crisscross. That marks my back corner. So now you have created your glass box or rectangular prism, if you prefer. Excuse me. Okay, just like on our other technique, now we're going to draw in those faces that are touching the edge of the box. So these two cubes here on this flat side here, this flat top here, and then this one and this one here. So these two cubes in the front. So this one, remember, this goes up 2 blocks high. So we're really looking for a spot about halfway up this line to create. So this is highlighted just to emphasize it. So we're going to look up about 1/2 of the way up, so right around here. And I'm going to draw a construction line to the vanishing point. So again, since this is, I'm going up about halfway, right about here, and we're going to connect that to the vanishing point with a construction line. So this area right here represents that highlighted area on the PowerPoint. This face here and this face here. Now I'm not shading that in yet. That's just there for emphasis, okay? Now I'm going to do this square. So to do that, I need to draw a vertical construction line over here somewhere. And again, remember, this is 1, 2, 3 blocks deep. So I'm going to go back about a third depth here. Now this one, I think they drew this purposely with 6 deep, so I should start right around here. Okay, so it's easy to start with where this construction line is already drawn, all right, to do this going back. That's logical. Right, so this corner right here represents this piece right here on the corner. So I just drew this top line. That's this point right here to here. And then again, I'm going to go and divide this line right here into 3 pieces. So it looks like it's 6 lines deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can go up 2. 1, 2, put a point here, and I'm going to draw a vertical line. Again, all my vertical lines are parallel to right there. There you go. So that's this front cube. So now I've actually got this whole face right here. 1, 2, and then this flat face here. I need to do this one over here as well. So again, I'm just going to continue with that same perspective here to here. And again, that's going to be vertical. And I picked that spot because, again, that divides this into 3 even pieces. Just like that. Last thing I need is the top square. This is where it gets a little tricky. Again, this is divided into 3 spots, right? 1, 2, 3. Now I don't have it nice and even this time, so I gotta kind of eyeball it. Right here and right about here. And so I could draw some vanishing lines for that. Now I got to figure out how deep to go. This again is another eyeball thing. I'm going to divide this part here in half. Probably easier to start and do it this way, since this is 1, 2, and to pick a spot here that's halfway. For me, that's going to be right about here. And I'm going to draw that one all the way to this vanishing point here. Now, I don't have to draw this whole line here. I could just do it from these 2 construction lines, but I'll throw the whole thing in because that's the way they did it. And now you can see right here is this block that I'm concerned with. And so we're going to go ahead and darken in all of these object lines now because I know I've got those. So let's go ahead and darken those in with nice thick lines so that we separate them from our construction lines. All right. That looks pretty good on my camera there. So I've got those faces done. I'm going to go ahead and show that, catch up on the PowerPoint. You can see where they've darkened everything in. So the next thing is to sketch additional construction lines to identify the surfaces of the objects at the inside of the box. This again is the part where it gets a little confusing. So let's just start with this top, and what they did is some vertical construction lines going straight down. So that's from this corner straight down, this corner straight down, and this corner straight down. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, they're construction lines, and we don't really know how deep we're going to go just yet, so let's just draw them down a little longer than we need to. Okay. Next, we'll do this back corner, and this goes to the vanishing point right here. So let's do that one. That's this back corner right here, and it goes to this vanishing point. Really want to do this one lightly because you know you're not going to fill that all the way in. All right, so that represents this line right here. All right, that's this one. Let's see, what are they going to do next? All right, we can go from this corner to this vanishing point. And since I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and do this one as well. You can see why we darken these object lines now. Again, lightly. And here. All right, hey, I can start to see this take shape. Well, let's go ahead. We already should have one here also. Let's go ahead and put this one in. There we go. So I've got this. All right, I need one from the bottom here, going this way. So that's this bottom one right here. What else do I need? Well, let's go ahead and do the object lines that we've got in here now. So we know we've got a back line here. And here goes all the way back. see why now, why it's really important to keep those construction lines light so that they don't detract from your actual sketch. So I think I got most of my lines in here. Okay, that's this one. That's this one. And the only one I don't have is this one on the bottom here. And that's going to go from this corner. So I need to put that construction line in here. That goes to that vanishing point, and so it should go right here. And I could darken that one in because I know it goes like that. There's your shape right there. Oh. In this one, I don't have that corner over here because mine lined up a little more like this one. It's being obscured. It would be behind here, so don't let this part here confuse you. It's here. It's just behind this view because of the way mine lined up. It really just depends on where you put your vanishing point lines. Your angles are going to be slightly different. All right? And all I have to do now is apply some tonal shading. So I'm going to pause this while I apply the shading, and then I'll show you the final view of this in just a second. And with the tonal shading in here now, you can see the finished product of this sketch. And it looks a lot better now. It kind of covers up some of those construction lines. These two here came in a little bit dark. I do them a little too deep, so they're detracting from my overall sketch. But the rest of these just kind of blend right in with the background. But again, it's just a demo of why you draw very, very light construction lines when you do them. All right, hopefully you don't have any questions.